Welcome to the BroadBoys podcast. I'm Cade. This is Micah. We're broad people talking about broad topics in gaming, film, and whatever else we feel like talking about. Micah, what you got going on?
Right now?
Yes.
What a direct question. Well, a whole lot and a lot of nothing. So I actually just finished my 100% run of Baldur's Gate 3.
100%?
Oh yeah, all the achievements.
What even constant? Oh, so that's your 100%?
Yes, all the Steam achievements.
Okay, cool. There's no other way people identify what 100% is in that game?
You know, I haven't looked, but
You're scared to at this point?
I'm scared to, because I've done every quest there is.
Okay.
I hope there's not an item collection thing, but as far as the game goes, it's 100%.
That's crazy. How many runs did it take you?
Only 2, actually.
Okay, using a guide.
Well, yeah, I had to do a guide because the second run I did was in honor mode, but I also had to do No One Left Behind, so I couldn't let any tieflings die, and I also had to do it as the Dark Urge.
In honor mode.
In honor mode.
Okay, and how many hours did this actually take you?
150 something.
150 something?
Yeah.
That does not seem nearly as bad. I'm sure that's what most people do in a single run.
My first run was about 50 something hours, so the honor mode run took a little over 100.
Okay. Sweet. And where does that rank for you? Would you say Baldur's Gate in your
top 5
list?
for
top
sure.
Top 5?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I like the game a lot, and obviously you do too.
I do.
But
a lot.
I've been playing some other things though. I've been playing a lot of Binding of Isaac. You know, classic rogue.
Funnily enough, I have not played it.
I can believe it because you haven't played a lot of things.
I'm not a rogue guy.
Mm-hmm. What kind of guy? You're a spreadsheet guy.
Yeah, I'm a spreadsheet guy. I also love Dishonored.
Mm-hmm.
Assassin games are great. Stealth games are great.
Okay.
I'm a big Elden Ring fan. I 100% at that as well.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
Yeah.
Good game. DLC coming out very soon. Very excited.
Yes. I want to pre-order it. I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Well, there's actually a lot of stuff coming up. And even there was a Sony State of Play recently.
There was.
And then there was also this weekend is Summer Games Fest.
Yep.
Hosted by the one and only Jeff Keighley.
I know.
So
excited. Man, dear and near to my heart.
Okay. How excited are you actually for the Summer Games Fest?
I think it's going to be underwhelming, and it's going to hurt my soul to watch.
Yeah.
But I hope there's some good things that come out of it.
I am basically right there with you. I think is not going to be the summer of gaming knowledge and events that we've had in the past for sure.
Well, it hasn't been for a couple of years.
That's very true. I would say ever since lockdown.
That's true.
I mean, we used to have E3.
Mm-hmm.
We used to, and even not technical E3 stuff. You have like that EA show, which I don't think was exactly a part of E3, but you had the EA show.
Tied in though.
Nintendo usually did a direct during that week, if not right after. So
it's all just kind of spread out and kind of lackluster.
Yeah, I think companies are taking their own approach. I don't think there's this yearly summer event anymore,
which is unfortunate.
But I think that's where Jeff's kind of trying to step in though. With the Game Awards?
True. If we could get a Game Awards-esque sort of reveal stuff, oh, that'd be cool.
Because, I mean, at this point, the Game Awards is, like, not really even about the awards anymore. You're really watching for those... well, I mean, the awards are important.
The awards are nice.
And the game of the year is a hotly contested topic.
Yes.
But I think most people watching it are looking for those trailers, are looking for what's coming next.
Yes. It has just become its own summer release just at the end of the year.
Yeah, I've never really watched the Summer Games Fest live.
I used to watch E3 back when, you could almost be certain that something was going to be announced. Mm-hmm. But you just can't now. Like, you get games that are announced that were technically already announced,
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah, that's just a general pattern we're seeing is companies announcing games way far out in advance just because for many different reasons. I mean, think about like how long it takes to make a AAA game nowadays versus even 10 years ago,
I missed some of the games from 10 years ago though.
So you're able to catch up.
Well, I kind of wish it didn't take so long.
I'm right. I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, I think a lot of beloved characters right now, the younger generations are falling out of just because there's no games releasing for them.
It's true. It's true. And a lot of these big games that take so long to create also take so long to play. And so you can't really get a wide variety. Like Baldur's Gate, 150 hours for 2 playthroughs. It would be super easy for me to go and play 1,000 hours, but I have other games I want to play.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about the generation of even like preteens now, like growing up, like, or even teenagers. They don't really remember Skyrim being released, and Elder Scrolls 6 isn't out yet. Probably won't be out for another couple years.
I know.
But it's like, think about that generational gap. Like, whatever kids get attached to nowadays is literally like what is relevant in their circles right now. So
That's true.
that's why you see a lot of
It's good for indie developers, though.
yeah, that's very true. Think about Five Nights at Freddy's and how big that got because he was able to release 4 games in the span of like
I know.
however long that was.
Hey, I love indie games, and it's great. And I think they're on the rise, especially because AAA games, they release in a cadence and they release crap games. Or they take 6 years and they're a big hit, but it's once every 6 years.
Yeah.
And so we're at a point where it's like indie games are popping off.
Yeah. I mean, you were certainly getting there. I mean, you have games like Animal Well, Crow Country,
Power World,
like those sort of games popping off nowadays.
Valheim.
That was a while ago at this point.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Feels recent.
that's a while ago.
Feels recent.
Yeah. But I think if there was still a steady stream of AAA games coming out, we wouldn't see nearly as much discussion.
It's true. It's true.
So.
And if they were releasing good games.
Also very true. But what good games would you like to see from Summer Games Fest? Like, if you had to...
An actual release date for Elder Scrolls?
You think at
a new Fallout announcement?
So you want Bethesda to come
I want them
out.
to make something good. That's all.
Hey, Starfield has a DLC coming out.
It hurt.
Starfield has a DLC.
Hurt. What a letdown.
That's okay.
What a letdown.
I mean, I played it for less than 5 hours, so I was able to return it. Or 2 hours. I played it for less than 2 hours.
That's great. That's great.
But the DLC is supposedly going to be showing off.
I'm so pumped. Let's go.
Yeah. So you want a good Bethesda game.
I want a good Bethesda game.
What about specifically for Summer Games Fest? Like, what's something that you think could actually happen? Not that I'm saying that won't happen.
I know.
But
I mean, more info from Rockstar would be great. I would love to see anything on GTA 6. Which might happen. There's rumors.
at Summer Games Fest?
Yes.
Okay.
But I doubt it. There's not really any big AAA projects that I'm excited for right now.
Really? Okay. I can think of some for me.
Yeah.
The big one that I know is going to be shown is Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah.
Capcom in particular is going to be showing off at least a couple different things. But Monster Hunter is a really good series. So
I mean,
I'm really excited for that.
if it's as good as what I think it might be, it might actually get me into Monster Hunter.
You can get in the world right now.
I know I could, but
Got other games to play.
I got other games.
You got other
to
games
play.
to
I got
play.
other games.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Because I'm also an RPG fan, and Kingdom Come Deliverance was a lot of fun for me.
Well, RPG is such a broad umbrella, so
I
you
know,
need to narrow that down a bit.
I love medieval RPGs.
Medieval RPGs. Strategy RPGs, ARPGs.
Nope. Just like first-person RPG games.
Okay.
So Kingdom Come Deliverance was one that I really enjoyed. By Warhorse Studios. They're coming out with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 this year, which was a big surprise. So it'd be cool to get gameplay trailer. I don't think they'll be there. They're AA game at best.
Okay.
But
yeah, interesting. That's a genre that definitely you know a lot more about than I do.
yeah.
But you know what I got you beat in? JRPGs. But I cannot tell you a single one that will come out or soon. Though, actually, no. There is one from Atlas called Metaphor Fantasio or something like that. But it looks really good.
Was that shown at the Game Awards?
I don't know about at the Game Awards, but it's been announced before.
Okay.
But if you know the Persona series,
Yep.
anime style
Okay.
JRPG,
Okay.
made by the same studio, Atlas. So
Okay.
it's a more medieval fantasy setting. Those are some games, but another one that's rumor. There's a lot of rumors going around.
Yeah.
I think a trailer I would also like to see is another trailer for Judas. That's the one that the BioShock team's making.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd like to see a bit more of that because, as much as I love that idea, the Outer Worlds or whatever was made by Obsidian, which did Fallout New Vegas, and that one didn't go as well as Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, it was really popular. I played it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It ran very poorly.
Was that the main problem with it? I didn't.
That was the main problem with it, is a lot of people couldn't run it at the time. What people really loved about it is it really just let you do whatever with the story. You could go and kill a main character, and it would just say, well, you killed him.
Okay. Yeah. So that's interesting. I haven't been students. Like, I saw the initial reviews, and I was like, well, not for me. I'm good.
No, it's all good. If Starfield was actually good, it would be Outer Worlds.
Sure.
That's
I was really excited for Starfield, and I know you were too.
I was too. I was so excited.
I pre-ordered it and everything. So
let me down.
Yeah. Other big things happening. We know there's a June Nintendo Direct coming up, but Nintendo, I know you love Nintendo so much.
I love Nintendo. It's my favorite gaming company.
I love Nintendo, but you don't. But that's okay. It's good for us to
disagree,
be into different things, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're wrong, but that's whatever. Borderlands 4.
Very excited.
Could be announced. It's just a rumor at this point, but it's apparently something big from 2K.
As long as it's better than Borderlands 3, which I still played and enjoyed, but Borderlands 2 is far superior.
Okay. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion.
No, it's actually the mainstream opinion. But...
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, I lost my place.
You lost your place.
In my head. I'm lost.
Well, do we want to talk about Games of the Year?
Sure. I mean, we're talking about Summer Games Fest hosted by Jeff Keighley himself.
We are.
Man, the Game of the Year embodied as a person.
It's true. It's true.
So, Game of the Year, highly contentious topic, like everyone talks about Game of the Year, right? Everyone does. I'm sure we will too, about 2024.
Once it gets there.
But I think we wanted to do something fun, and we wanted to go back to the first games of the year. And with our hindsight, with all the knowledge we've accumulated past that time, we can look at what the judges chose and really determine if they were correct. Because we're really the authority here.
It's true.
So
we know exactly what we're talking about. With unparalleled knowledge.
Very true. So because of that, we're going to look through, and if we go all the way back to what was considered the first...
One of the first
Game of the Year titles, because there was a couple different places that did Game of the Year awards,
Yep.
but there wasn't really anything super official. It was mainly either different minor publications or different online forum groups. But the first major Game of the Year was the BAFTA, I believe.
BAFTA and DICE Awards, both of them.
Yeah, BAFTA and DICE Awards. And so if we go all the way back to 1997, that was their first one. And when we were researching this, I was surprised by how stacked.
I know, a lot of games.
Very,
still.
Very, very stacked.
97, great year. Love that year.
So we'll start with the game that won. The game that won ended up being GoldenEye 007 for the N64.
Absolutely.
Great game.
Great
we can both attest.
Yep, I played it.
And when I saw that, I played it too. Played the multiplayer, played the single player.
A lot of fun.
Great game, especially as a kid.
I know.
So But Micah, how about you just list out some of these
Yeah.
games
Yeah.
from 97?
Let's list some games from 97. Star Fox 64. Diddy Kong Racing. Classic.
Very classic.
Oh, what else? Fallout, the original. Grand Theft Auto, the original. Final Fantasy VII. Tomb Raider 2. Age of Empires, if you're an RTS guy.
Big deal for you.
Quake 2, if you're also an old-time shooter. Tekken 3. Crash Bandicoot 2. Mortal Kombat 4. I mean, this list is huge. The original Gran Turismo, which frickin' looks great in 97.
It does. I was very impressed.
It looks better than some mobile games these days.
Yeah. So when we're looking at that list, like I gotta think that the way that the initial reception was to a lot of these games maybe wasn't as big as I think, because when you think of Final Fantasy VII nowadays,
I know.
that's like an icon of
It is.
gaming in general. And as much as GoldenEye is great and people, you know, you think about slappers, you think about golden guns, you think about bad controllers, you know, it pops up.
It's
but
true.
it doesn't compare to the monument that Final Fantasy VII has built.
I know. But do you think Final Fantasy VII should have won? Like, I know it's a classic. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But is it better than GoldenEye objectively in the year?
In the year. So we got to think about the audience too, right? So what does the B stand for in BAFTA?
British.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mistake number one.
That's true. We let the
Okay.
Brits choose.
Yeah. So that's, if my tinfoil hat is that they were so excited to have a good 007 game that they chose it as their game of the year. Don't get me wrong, really good. If you think about its influence on Western audiences.
It's true. It's true.
Big. It's big.
One of the biggest selling games of that year.
Yeah, but I mean, I would even, if to say what is the best game of that year,
Objectively.
objectively, I'm gonna say Final Fantasy VII's above.
I mean, it had a great story, but I don't know that the gameplay was there.
Okay, because you're not a JRPG guy.
I'm not a JRPG guy.
Just in the same way that there's not first-person shooter guys, especially first-person shooters on the N64.
It's true. By the way, first-person shooters on the N64 kind of sucked overall, and GoldenEye was fun.
It was
which
fun.
was big for one of the main consoles of that year.
Yeah.
Because most people weren't playing on PC. If you were, I'm sure you would have voted for Quake.
Yeah, if you were at those LAN parties,
Yep.
you would have gone for Quake. In Quake 1, I'd probably say it has a bigger legacy than Quake 2 for sure.
Yeah, probably.
But I would say I'd say Quake 2 is a better game
Yeah,
overall as
I would
well.
too. I would say that probably out of all those games, the one that's probably the most sophisticated would be Gran Turismo. Like
In
talk
terms
about
of graphical
graphics
capability.
and what the gameplay was for the time, arguably the best simulator outside of these ludicrously expensive machines that professionals used.
Yeah.
Not that it was a true simulator at that time, but pretty close.
I mean, it has a movie now, right?
It does have a movie
Gran
now
Turismo has a movie.
that I enjoyed quite a bit.
I didn't even think
It's
about
very
watching it.
unfortunate. You should watch it. It's great.
Yeah, but it's no Ford versus Ferrari. Oh, okay. Okay, fine.
I
Sure.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Interesting.
it a lot.
Okay, fine.
Because it's a real story that's near and dear to my heart. A gamer becoming a true professional in what they game in.
Is that actually the story?
It is. It is.
There's no way.
No, they took sim racers who played Gran Turismo and stuck them in real race cars to see if it would convert between, being good at a simulator and then doing it for real. And this kid, who they ended up choosing because they were only allowed to choose one out of all the gamers they grabbed, he ended up being the absolute best. And he is still a professional racer who is winning titles and everything.
Like you're talking about real life, right?
Yeah, in real life. Yeah. And he came from
Gran Turismo.
Yeah, he came from Gran Turismo, playing in simulators in gaming cafes.
Wow.
I know.
That's wild.
I know.
All right, you might have actually sold me on watching
You
it.
should watch it. It's really good. I'll
Okay.
watch it with you.
Maybe next time I'll give my review.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so yeah, I would even say I personally like Star Fox 64 more. Do I think it's a better game over GoldenEye? Probably not. but in terms of rail shooters,
It's true.
probably one of the better ones,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, as an unbiased Nintendo fan.
Yeah.
But I would say Final Fantasy VII should have it. That's my pick.
As
but
a story game, I hear you. But as a game, I don't think so.
And what would you say then?
honestly, and maybe it's hindsight with Legacy, I would almost say Grand Theft Auto. I know number 1 wasn't the best game in the world.
That was the top-down one, by the way.
Yeah,
just so we understand what we're saying.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But as a Legacy, also Fallout's really good. The first one I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I don't think the graphics held up, as a game, I really enjoyed it.
So you're basing a lot of this on Legacy then?
I know. Maybe that's the hindsight talking. Maybe that's a problem.
Well, I'm thinking the hindsight is in the better game. You know, in terms of you have tons more content in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
The story, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the story, but I really love I love the characters.
That's crazy, because arguably Final Fantasy VII has the best story
Out of
Final Fantasy.
I'd also disagree on that, but
Okay.
that's
That can be a different topic.
I'm a Final Fantasy VI guy. So
fair enough.
But I love the characters.
Mm-hmm.
The combat's great, even though it's a JRPG.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played one with the time meter?
Yes.
Okay, so the time meter's great. You got limit breaks, which are just cool.
Yeah.
You have wacky situations and bosses, and it's one of the best games ever made, and that's a general consensus among audiences in general.
It is up there. I don't think it was GoldenEye that should have won. I don't know if it was Final Fantasy VII. But for me, it would be Final Fantasy VII versus possibly Gran Turismo versus possibly
Tekken 3. Oh.
Tekken 3 is a freaking fun game.
Tekken 3. All right, let's talk about Tekken 3 for a second. All right. I think Tekken 3 is what really made Tekken.
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking about bringing it up beforehand, but I was like, no, Tekken 3 is a bomb game, and even though
it is not Game of the Year material, it is probably one of the funnest Tekken games from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably the best Tekken game from the 90s. Was it the last one? Did Tekken 4 come out in the 90s?
I thought that was 99.
It might have been.
It might have been
2000.
I'm not.
I don't remember. We can find that later or put it on screen.
In terms of retro Tekken, that's the best one.
I agree, 100%, without a doubt.
So we're compromising to Tekken 3.
Arguably the funnest game out of this entire list, Tekken 3. Done.
Moving on. Man, so there's a lot of exciting stuff happening upcoming with games. There's also, but if we're moving over to the film side, there's been a lot of things that have happened that are not necessarily positive, you know?
All the flops, all those summer blockbuster flops that have been going on?
That would be it. That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't been keeping up so much.
I haven't been to the theater in a while.
Yeah. So, me neither. Part of the reason for that is, I would say marketing, because I don't even know a lot of the movies that were even coming out.
It's true.
I knew about Mad Max coming out.
Yep.
I knew about the tennis movie, Challengers.
Yeah, no.
But I just heard about that from social media and stuff. Yep. In terms of movie trailers that actually got me excited, Mad Max was probably the only one.
Mad Max, I saw a lot for Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare with Henry Cavill.
That's right.
I'm also a huge Henry Cavill fan anyway, so that's enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. But there's that Atlas movie too.
Yeah, Atlas was the Netflix movie that just came out. I can't remember who directed it. I want to say it's Guy Ritchie, but I don't think that's true.
I wouldn't know.
But it was $100 million, and it looks like it was made in 2010.
Yes.
And for a movie about literally walking around in a big mech, it couldn't be more boring.
You watched it?
I watched part of it and stopped.
Wow. It's crazy.
The lead actress is Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez. There we go.
Talking about
That's
J-Lo, okay?
Yes. Not a bad actor. She gives it her all.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a bad movie, and I think for someone, she's 50-something, probably shouldn't be redefining yourself as an action star.
Because when was her first debut in that?
This might be her biggest movie.
I can't remember J-Lo as an action star in any other movie, so this might actually be the first one.
Yeah. But anyway, awful movie. Big bummer. The movies in the box office are actually pretty good.
Yeah, but the numbers for the studios are being a big bummer.
Yeah, that is true, which kind of sucks. I think Mad Max Furiosa is probably really overshadowed by the fact that it has Mad Max in the title, and there is no Max who is mad. Which is very unfortunate for the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think marketing it a bit differently. Maybe even a title change could have helped, or like a Mad Max story.
Yeah, maybe not calling it Mad Max Furiosa, but calling it like
Furiosa Mad Max Tale.
Yeah, Furiosa, a Mad Max Tale, like the Solo treatment, which I actually enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, I'll probably see it. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah,
But
I've
the
heard
numbers
great things about it too.
it's interesting to see the numbers just aren't adding up. These studios aren't breaking even with any of these movies, even critically acclaimed ones.
I know.
So it's really interesting because you can go at it from the angle as well. People aren't going to the theaters anymore.
Well, they're not.
They're not.
It's expensive.
Yes, and with how involved streaming is with everything, I mean, as much as I love all these movies, I'm also thinking, man, Godzilla -1 just came out on Netflix. I want to watch that. I want to watch that again.
It's true.
You know, so
I know. Like, there's few movies that I go and I say, I really need to see this on a big screen. Most movies that I watch or see trailers for, I'm like, it'll look just as good on my TV at home.
Yeah.
And it'll be cheaper. I don't have to pay $40 to bring, me, someone else, food, drink, popcorn. And it's like, I've already, I could have done a nice dinner. I could have rented 5 movies at home. I don't know.
Could have been like 5 months of subscription.
I know.
So
you really need a movie that's worth seeing on the big screen.
Like Oppenheimer.
I saw it twice.
Like Godzilla -1.
Godzilla.
That one, amazing in theaters. What are some other movies that are like big screen?
Transformers. If they were still doing good.
Yeah, if they were still doing Transformers. Well,
Pacific Rim, only the first one.
Okay.
Because the second one sucked.
Yeah. I think theater culture is also just kind of fading out.
Well, people are more movie snobs than ever. So it really is just theater culture.
Which is hilarious because I feel like the movie snobs are just watching it on TikTok in 50 parts with Subway Surfers gameplay above it. So, but we're so critical. We're more critical of media than ever.
No, I know, absolutely.
And like almost to a point where, depending on the criticism, people won't even go and watch the movies associated with. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, which is insane.
It's very sad.
So,
especially, I want to see a lot of these mid-budget movies still get made, still, go to theaters. But it sucks that I can't really afford to go see them in theaters. At least not many. I get to choose one, right?
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because I chose my one to be Monkey Man.
Yeah, okay.
Which felt like an acid trip.
Okay, you're selling me.
It's not a good movie.
Oh, okay.
It has a very okay first part, and that's it.
Can you pitch it to me? Can you give me a log line?
So there's this guy, okay? He's not good at anything. He's kind of a weasel.
Okay.
And he gets his way into this organization as a chef. He doesn't stay a chef very long because he tries to kill people. Anyway, he fails, and then he gets picked up by these I can't remember what the god is that they worship. It's in India.
Okay.
And anyway, long story short, there's also an awful montage during that period where he trains, which apparently is like several months long, and it totally feels like 3 days, and both feels really bad. So basically, the whole first part where he's a chef and he almost kills people and then runs away and then almost dies, that's pretty fun. I like that. Everything after that really sucks.
Okay. That's more than a log line, but I'll let it
I
slide.
really could not think of a better way to talk about that movie.
Like you were throwing in that he was killing people. I'm like, huh?
He killed a couple people.
Okay, so he killed people.
Poorly. It was pretty bad.
But he killed them.
He did, yeah, he succeeded.
Not just poorly.
Yeah, it wasn't very smooth.
Like
I really thought it was going to be Indian John Wick, and it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
That's what
I
it was.
understand.
That's what all the trailers made me think. Is that I was going to be
Okay.
watching Indian John Wick, like a Bollywood John Wick. And it was just a Bollywood bummer.
Wow.
And that's alliteration.
There you go. I mean, like, I almost think there's a anti-Hollywood sentiment coming around the. I mean,
so.
there's always been one, but I think it's just been the combo with that and
Sucky superhero films.
sucky superhero films, a lot of slop, writer's strike. You know, I
Yeah.
think everything combined. I think the short-term content takeover is happening.
Well, it's big because all these, long-form streaming platforms are also expensive. Netflix is expensive, and you can't share your password anymore. I got kicked off my family's because I don't have this right internet connection. And so, even long-form content's going away. And I don't think it's because people don't want to watch long-form content. I think it's because it's too expensive to watch long-form content now.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, I agree. On the other hand, YouTube videos that are doing very well are like the Fall of iCarly. That's like 8 hours long.
I know. That's
So-
what I'm saying. It's not in opposition to long-form content.
Yeah.
Like, live streamers have 5,000 people consistently who want to watch for 3 or 4 hours.
Well, that's on the second monitor.
Well, does it matter? It's no different than having Netflix up on your TV screen while you fold laundry. People just don't want to pay.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I didn't think about it that way. That was a life-changing analogy. you
Sorry, I
just made.
really opened your eyes there to that.
I know.
Are there any movies you're looking forward to, though?
No, not at all. That's the problem.
I know. Shoot.
Can you think of anything that you're looking forward to?
There's TV shows I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, but not movies.
Not movies.
Not movies.
No.
I can't even think of like any movies right now.
That's
I don't know.
true.
Maybe that's my problem. Is I don't know what's even happening anymore, and I don't really care.
Well, no one's paying for the marketing, which is weird.
I know.
I get a lot of Disney stuff still.
Inside Out 2.
Yep. I see that ad all the time.
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna go watch that,
I'm not
or at
gonna
least
go
in
watch
theaters.
it. No, not in theaters. It'll go on Disney Plus, which is much more affordable.
Probably within 2 weeks.
Or sooner.
Yeah. So I think that's what's killing it.
Yeah.
I can't even think of any movies that are coming.
I'm sure there's
Soon.
something.
No, there is.
Lord of the Rings Extended Edition coming back to theaters to celebrate the 10-year anniversary.
Is this something we're doing?
I'm going to be there. I'm going to go.
Okay.
Um,
Haven't watched the series, so
Interstellar re-releasing on IMAX.
that is a great movie to watch in theaters. That's
I
another
am really hoping to go.
most Christopher Nolan movies in theaters.
I agree.
Besides Tenet, Tenet in theaters was like
Tenet was an experience.
it was hard to hear what they were saying.
It's even worse at home. Man, the audio is so bad. Yeah, I think it's on purpose, which is problematic in my mind, but
Yeah, I mean it's just like what's the point of going to the theaters anymore?
popcorn.
I mean, it used to be an experience, and I think that's a larger thing. Is just like it's too much money to do anything now.
Yeah.
So people just stay at home.
Yeah, there's cheaper experiences at home.
hmm
So
And you're more comfortable.
Yeah,
You don't need to
more
be around
comfortable.
people you don't know.
And
You can veg out with your shirt off, and if you put extra butter on your popcorn and your hands get all messy, no one's gonna look at you
no
weird.
one's gonna look at you funny as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's living the dream.
I know.
So why would I go to the theater?
There's no
all right.
reason.
Nowadays, though, there is a secret strat. And you go to a movie with a group.
Mm-hmm.
and when you look at the seats, you make sure you're the only group. Having a theater to yourself is one of the funniest things ever.
It is really funny, but you have to go to some pretty crappy movies or just the middle of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the movies I've seen where it's just an empty theater and you can just make dumb comments or laugh out loud.
Morbius.
I don't think, yeah,
10 out of 10 movie. Highly recommend. Go see it.
I haven't seen it.
10 out of 10 movie. Highly recommend. Time of your life. Probably the best acting you've ever seen. It was re-released too. That's how good it was.
I see.
Well worth it.
Well,
Best vampire movie I've ever watched.
really? You haven't watched other vampire movies?
Twilight.
Okay,
I watched Renfield with Nicolas Cage.
I don't even know why I bothered asking.
I actually enjoyed Renfield. It was funny.
Yeah.
And it didn't really have Nicolas Cage in it. Which is crazy. Speaking of Nicolas Cage. Sorry, I'm all over. I watched, what is it? The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The one with Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
That all the memes are about.
Okay, yeah,
I went into it thinking it was going to be a meme movie. Because that's what everyone told me
It's
it kinda
not.
was. It's not. It's really good. It's a heartfelt movie that made me laugh. It made me happy. And Pedro Pascal is a great actor.
I'm very happy for you. My God.
Highly recommend it. It's actually really good.
Okay. What type of movie would you like to see out in theaters? Like what's the dream for theaters at this point? Like what would get you into the theater instantly?
Another John Wick.
Yeah. I'm a big John Wicker.
I'm a big John Wick fan. Something that the scale of it can only be told on the screen. Truly be told on the screen.
Okay. So you're not necessarily worried about the timing aspect and seeing it soon.
No, I want to see something that's feels good to watch on screen. Some large scope, large scale, which I really miss.
So maybe that might be the problem then, because the ability to make those movies is getting harder and harder.
Or it's just getting sloppier and sloppier.
Yeah.
With a lot of CG mess. Because, there's a lot of things that have just gone. I really love Lord of the Rings. The way they made the Uruk-hai marching sounds, they didn't, take 15 people and layer it. They actually went to a cricket stadium with like 10,000 people and had them stomp and march and chant, like during like the halftime of a cricket game.
Yeah.
He went out there with a microphone and said, "Hey, we're gonna do this for the movie," and everyone was like, "Okay."
Sweet.
And
Wait, so the audience participated too?
Yep. And so,
Or was it just?
well, it was the
mainly
whole
the
cricket
audience?
stadium.
Yeah. Okay.
And so all of them were, stomping and chanting, and that's how they did the sound effect. And so, stuff like that's kind of dead with like your digital composite and everything else. Like you can take 15 people and pitch it into it, but it's not authentic.
Yeah, the practical art of filmmaking.
Yeah, like even the new Mad Max movie, which the first Mad Max movie was almost all practical effects.
That's crazy. Yeah.
This one, while they tried to do the same, it's very obvious which parts aren't. Because as much as we've gotten good at, mixing CG and, like practical effects, you can tell.
Speaking of Mad Max, you know what I was thinking about?
What?
Anya Taylor-Joy must have one of the best agents in the industry.
She must.
Think about like the last 4 or 5 movies she's been in. Like the Mario movie.
Yep.
Mad Max.
Yep.
I think The Menu is in her last 5. Is it what's the one? The more like I don't think it's British. Not Little Women.
She's in Dune.
She is technically in Dune. Yes, that's right. Dune, and then shoot, is it Emily? It's just a person's name.
I can't remember.
Is the name of the film. Yes. So I don't remember, but just a super wide variety of stuff.
I know. She can do
and
whatever
she was nailing it.
I know. She can literally do whatever she wants. She is not going to be typecast as anything.
That's wild.
which is great for her.
Good for her agent.
I know.
And good for her, I guess. But yeah, man. So
That's crazy.
that's insane. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Or you got insane, crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Ludicrous.
You know, that's the combo.
It's true.
I don't know about how often ludicrous is used, but yeah. So I'm trying to think of other things coming up, but
I think that really sums up probably the next month
of film, yeah. In terms of film discussions, it might get a little different, but but that's where we're at right now. I'm not too engaged. I'm probably just gonna be watching older movies, like stuff that's already come out, stuff that's already been seen. Maybe I'll go see the extended or the Rings.
You should. We should go see that together.
You know, I'd be more I am more inclined to go if it was a theater experience.
That's good. I do it once a year, so and it's in theaters this year, so I'm down.
So okay, you're gonna know. Do you know the movie by heart then at this point?
Pretty close.
Okay. That's it. Yeah. Good for you, man. Especially it's the extended versions.
Yeah.
It's not all in a row, is it?
No, I think they're separated by a week or two between each one.
Okay.
So
that's way more manageable for me.
Yes.
You do it in one day.
I usually do it in one day. Yes.
Which is insane. I don't know how you do that.
It's a great time. It's only like 14 hours.
Only like 14 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, I've spent that amount of time playing video games in one session, so I can't complain. The same game, too.
That's crazy.
No. Think about, like, you bust open a new game Christmas morning, and it's like, oh, you don't have to do anything.
Okay, as a kid, maybe, but like...
What, not as a 19, 20-year-old?
No.
Like,
college.
As a 22-year-old? No, not during Christmas Day. Not during Christmas Day.
That's true. Then there's family. I can't just leave them all.
No, I mean, I'm there. I'm just in a different room.
That's fair. I don't blame you. It's a good time.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great time.
This has been.
Thank you for watching up until the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.
Again.